All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. And of course, a very warm welcome to all of you who are tuning in for our specially curated podcast, the Eye Hypnosis Life Coaching Journeys. As you know by now, that this podcast has been curated where we make it a point to scour the length and breadth of our country and also beyond, finding some truly amazing healers and coaches, people who've already been on the journey now for some time. And this is an opportunity for you to get to hear their stories, for you to be inspired by what inspires them. And also, when you listen to their stories, you will realize that the journey that you've begun, you're not alone in this, and that if you feel stuck right now, when you listen to their stories, you'll realize that, hey, you know what? They've been through it too, and that if they've been through it and they've reached this point, so can you. So, without further ado, let's put our hands together and welcome Aria into our pod, the Eye Hypnosis Life Coaching Journey. So, Aria, of course, this is your cue as you turn on your camera. So, firstly, welcome, Aria. Good to have you here. And thank you for making the time. And I know, and I have sort of like what's that they say? I have the inside track because we have spent some amount of time together already where you had graciously hosted me on your show. And so I got to share a little bit about what I do and why I do. And that's when I said, you know what? It's like this is the perfect opportunity for me to get to hear you and your story, and also our viewers, listeners, and watchers get to know about you and your life story, and also what is it that makes you do what you do? What is it that gives you that passion to keep going? So I think we'll start there. And if someone asks you that question, so sorry, what do you do? What do you tell them today?
First of all, thank you, Rahul, for inviting me for this conversation. It's such a wonderful experience to know you, and it's nice to be on the other side of the conversation now.
Yes.
So, really looking forward for this conversation, and I hope that the audience can take as much as they would love to, because
Mm,
like we were having the discussion previously, right? For a person, there would be one certain element that's important, and maybe for another person, it's completely opposite to,
right.
for us, it would be as simple as just a daily routine, but it would be
Yeah.
transformative for someone else. So,
Mm,
like you mentioned, what is the purpose behind what I do? To be honest, as a child, it was a very different experience.
mm,
Thought that I would end up being into coaching, right? So,
mm,
give you a brief.
mm.
I'm Arya Nair. I am a certified life and career coach, founder of an initiative called DYC, which means Discover Your Calling. And it is such a
Wow.
beautiful thing to say that we always use calling in our conversations. Most
Mm,
us do, right? This is my
yes.
calling. But
Yes.
it is very important to discover your calling. Not everyone is, lucky enough to discover it at the young stage. We do it over
Mm,
a period of time, right?
mm,
So that is
mm.
where we stand.
Right.
I have overall 7 years of coaching experience where
Mm,
helping people in terms of coaching um,
mm,
and um, identifying what are the areas that they need to explore. So there are two aspects, right? One is
mm,
passion, one is purpose.
mm,
So for me, passion was to serve people.
mm.
As a child, I thought being a doctor would be an area where I would serve.
Right.
And
Right.
back in those days, we had very limited career opportunities to look up to.
Mm,
And then as life passed, things started unfolding, and I realized, okay, it's not medicine, it's biology. And then
mm,
I chose biotech. And then I realized it's not only biology, it's about people, their mind.
mm,
Why
mm,
do we react in a certain way rather than responding? And
mm,
now, what is the mindset behind every element? How every person is different, and there's no right or wrong. It's always a gray.
mm,
It's never black or white. And
mm,
that is where I realized that. starting my career in coaching as a career coach, I was very comfortable talking to people.
Uh,
However, there was something more that was needed.
mm,
And the moment I decided that I want to do life coaching and I understood a lot of elements about coaching, I realized that there's no niche or a type of audience I want to focus on.
mm,
Predominantly want to focus on an area where people are very comfortable with change.
mm,
That is where I finally found my calling, where I'd love to discuss about areas on transition,
mm.
because change is constant. Every
Correct.
single day we are learning, we are growing. The person that we were yesterday versus the person we are today.
Mm,
Every small thing we learn something. Oh,
mm,
I missed
mm,
messaging this person. And that person would have ended up having hundreds of questions just because we missed messaging that person.
mm.
Never repeat that mistake the next time,
Right.
because there will
Right.
be a lot of brain drain when the person comes up
Mm,
with those questions. So, any small thing that we do every single day, we are growing
mm,
or
mm,
we are transforming. Similarly, in major life transitions, whether you're starting a new career,
mm,
relationship, your
mm.
job, moving into a new city,
Right.
suppose retiring, or whatsoever, all of us are afraid of that transition. Like, we are excited sometimes, but still we are afraid that what if?
Mm,
When I realized that the what if part is part of life,
mm.
and
Right.
we create a space where we can help people understand it is part of life rather than running away from it or
Mm.
procrastinating, how beautiful it would be for people to embrace change.
So let me pause you here because you said something very powerful, right? You used the word calling before, right? Calling. I love the word vocation, and when you say vocation, it's literally it is linked to vocal, as in right, and calling. The it's all in that same space. So I'm also guessing, since this is what you do, that's why I'm curious to know if you take us back in time to the earliest memories that you have where you kind of knew possibly that this is what you were meant to do. Maybe there were no words for it. Maybe there was no label for it because, again, coaching, like you said, you've been doing this over the last 7 years. And especially in India, coaching is comparatively fairly new, right? So if you take us back in time, what were some of your earliest memories of knowing that, this is what I really love doing? You talked about transition, you talked about change, you talked about calling. So, what would be like some of those earliest indicators that this is sort of like where you would be going?
Let me take you to a journey of my life, Rahul.
Mm,
So, a couple of people, what they do, they have these sparks or traits that are visible at a very early stages,
correct.
right?
Mm,
For me, my early stages of my life were more about building me into being someone who can get into coaching, right?
mm,
So I was a introvert person until my 10th grade, I would say. And but if someone sees me now, they would never believe it.
mm,
Of course, not a complete extrovert, not in the
mm,
extreme trajectory or spectrum.
sure.
However, an outgoing person.
Mm,
I feel that those years, those 15 years of my life, being
mm,
an introvert, I could practice active listening.
right.
Yes. So that active listening part was so helpful for me,
Mm,
realizing that before before someone came with a problem or a challenge,
mm,
I did not jump into solutions.
right.
Right? So that helped me understand that as a coach, we are not here to provide advice, we are here to provide suggestions
Mm,
and create a space for everyone.
right.
This was a very important, crucial preparatory phase, these 15 years.
Right.
Second, I am a trained Bharatanatyam dancer.
Mm,
So it's not only about what we say, but the body languages that we carry,
right.
based on which we show how approachable we are,
Mm,
right? So in the beginning, knew what are the body languages. The body languages were really good, which
Hmm.
helps me now help people gain confidence through gestures.
Right.
However, when in my next phase of life, when I was in college, I got a lot of feedback about Arya, you come across as a very dominating person.
Hmm.
But the dominating
Interesting.
aspect was misunderstood.
Right.
I used to be very professional in terms of communicating what it is, and
Hmm.
in a casual setting, it would have come across like a dominating area.
Right.
But this feedback helped me understand how
Hmm.
important humor and softer elements of life is to
Hmm.
showcase what you're from within,
Hmm.
right? So, from
Hmm.
being an active listener to slowly
Huh.
transitioning into someone who is
Huh.
outgoing,
Huh.
and then bringing a blend of
Hmm.
professionalism, a person who can express in different settings at
Right.
different mode,
Hmm.
finally helped me realize the person I'm becoming.
Hmm.
Right? So
Wow.
I really didn't have an idea of becoming a coach eventually. But I
Hmm.
still remember in my MBA first year, we had faculty who was teaching us business communication.
Hmm.
And it was back in 2017,
Huh.
life coach. And I think she was one of the first life coaches I met face to face. And I was really curious.
Wow.
She was a life coach, NLP practitioner. I was like, what are these words?
Hmm.
So, attractive, and, it's just pulling me towards that
Hmm.
direction.
Hmm.
I never knew that, like so many years down the line, that would be something I would be so passionate about and so purposeful. But like you said, setting intention
Hmm.
is so important when you see that you're growing in a certain direction and when you're attracted to certain words and when you start setting intention, start reading, start analyzing in that direction, you are pulled into that magnetic
Right.
area. And
Right.
that is how I have reached where I am today and we are having this
Wow.
conversation.
Amazing. Wow. So I know we will kind of double click on some of those stories over the last 6, 7 years. But for now, like you said, you talked about transition, you talked about calling. And interestingly, when you mentioned the word transition, I couldn't help but kind of make the connection because you were a certain way at in one phase of your life, and then there was a transition where you kind of moved into the second phase, if I can say that, right? So it's like pre 2017 and maybe post 2017. Would that be kind of like roughly, it's sort of in that era, right? Do you recall what triggered that transformation? Like you mentioned this lady and what she was doing, and that she had an impact on you, but do you recall like when you were starting to become aware that this transition is happening?
I think in the early stages, it was more about being open to feedbacks.
Mm,
So I'm an only child.
mm,
So, till the time I was exposed to college,
mm,
and I come from a girls' school, so
mm,
my exposure was very limited,
right.
right? Over a period of time, I started getting more open to feedbacks. It was
Huh,
difficult. That transition was really difficult. But
right.
when I started analyzing those feedbacks, is when
Mm,
trigger started happening where I understood that what I'm meant to do or what I'm
mm,
good at doing. So
mm,
it was more of an external validation for me. It was not that I was looking for validation, but when people come to me, like sometimes people don't even know their capabilities,
right.
right? So when
Right.
I was told that, hey Arya, can you just help me with my presentation preparation?
Mm,
And I realized, oh, okay, am I good at presentation? I
mm,
really didn't know about it. And then
mm,
slowly, when I collected all those feedbacks, I realized I did not write it down back then. I didn't know the importance of writing down your thoughts,
mm,
but I
mm,
used to sit with myself. I think that's something
mm,
that only kids excel at, talking to themselves.
mm, mm.
So it's very nice to sit and ask yourself, okay, I'm good at this. I can do this well. And this is
Mm,
something I think I can, tweak, improvise,
mm,
see how to
mm,
improvise on,
mm.
finding opportunities to work on that. So I remember
Right.
in my MBA days, so when you join MBA, more
Mm.
about studies, it's about the extracurricular activities.
Correct. Correct.
And
Correct.
I made sure that all the in the first year, I'm part of all the committees except for the committee that I think I'm good at.
Mm.
So, being a dancer, I decided not to go in
Right.
cultural committee.
Huh.
Putting myself in a position where I
Mm.
can broaden my expertise.
Right.
Eventually, whenever I am in a like organization or any
Mm.
situation, I know who I am.
Right.
So putting in difficult situations or in an open area,
Mm.
we understand that these are the areas that are untapped, or these are the areas even I don't know I was good at.
Mm.
And then the previous external validations that I got helped me to create a trend and pattern. And then,
Mm.
that's how the trajectory went.
Mm. Mm.
And then, of course, talking to myself was
Mm.
helpful, like I said.
Amazing.
This is the experience that I really wanted to share with people, that
Mm.
there's no single answer to how one
Right.
grows. However, it is very important to sit with yourself
Mm. I
because
love
you are your
that.
best friend.
Yeah, I mean it's it's when we talk about mindfulness, we talk about presence. Of course, we also talk about meditation, but if you really think about mindfulness, one major component of being able to tap into it is exactly what you said, which is sitting with yourself, right? Today it's very easy to distract ourselves, right? So even though we may be sitting by ourselves, we're not sitting with ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's amazing that you've already been practicing this skill of literally just sitting with yourself and truly being so present that I'm sure that also comes in handy today when you're doing the work that you're doing. So maybe let's talk a little bit about how that transition continued, where, so you did your MBA. And then what happened after that? Like, how did you eventually come into this world of coaching? And I'm guessing COVID also would somewhere have had a role to play in that sequence of events, right?
So true. So I come from a healthcare background. I did my bachelor's in biotech. And I think a decade ago, healthcare or life sciences was not
Huh,
very much, like people were not aware about it. I would say.
right.
They knew little bit
Hmm,
and that's it. So when I started doing my masters, a lot of
hmm,
parents used to reach out to me saying that my child doesn't want to do medicine.
hmm,
What options do they have? Can you?
hmm,
It started with that. This
hmm,
is where I started feeling that I am very much comfortable talking to parents,
right.
kids of that age group, like, from 10th to 12th,
Hmm,
and they are much more comfortable with me. So
right.
they did never had any resistances. So this validation
Hmm,
came up, and I started, like, I don't know, luckily I had given a lot of entrance exams after my 12th and after my graduation, that the amount of exposure I had
hmm,
was very nice to transition and give it,
right.
pass it to them. So that's how the coaching, unstructured, unregulated
Hmm,
coaching, that happened.
huh,
And when COVID happened, we all were working from home, and
huh.
I was just sitting one day, and my husband, then we were dating.
Hmm,
We were just having a conversation. I was telling him about career guidance, and
hmm,
casually, I don't even think he remembers saying this,
huh.
but he just casually said, "Do you know that how much your eyes sparkle when you talk about
Wow.
career guidance?"
Amazing.
And it stuck with me. It's still stuck with
Huh.
me. I don't think he remembers that.
Right.
But I then decided, ki, Acha, okay, if this is something that,
Mm.
like, really, I can show it on my face that I'm really passionate about. It's not only internal, now it's coming
Mm.
out.
Right.
Let's get a certification. Let's give it a try. So
Mm.
I took up a international certification in career guidance. And interestingly, the whole batch that we had, I was the youngest one in the batch.
Mm.
And the age difference between me and the other younger person was around 15 years.
Wow.
The reason why I was hesitant to take up a certification was I had a limiting belief that, oh, maybe, I need to do this maybe few years later. I'm
Right.
too young, who will take me seriously? The typical resistance. When I took that up, I realized that it's not about age, it's about your maturity, in the space that you hold, and I got a little more confidence
Yes.
in that. And
Right.
that's how the journey started. And then one thing led to another,
Mm.
getting more experience in coaching people of one age group, and then their parents realized
Mm.
the elders or the adults are also receptive.
Correct.
The level of understanding and coaching that I'm offering.
Mm,
That's how it kept on leading in this direction. And then I became a career coach, life coach. Slowly
mm,
now the niche is transition coaching,
right.
how it has been.
Nice. So now that we've kind of reached back here where we started, right? Tell us a little bit about transition coaching because again, these are very different frames. Like, people typically talk about career coaching, like that's a sort of known niche, right? But when you talk about specifically transition coaching, like how did you kind of step into that? Like what was the story? What's the story behind that?
So transitions, Rahul, are rarely linear, right?
Huh.
So
Right.
there's a mix of emotions, uncertainty, fear of the unknown, grief of what's being left behind,
Mm,
excitement of all those new opportunities and
mm,
possibilities, and sometimes guilt of, like, even wanting change.
mm,
And when one faces each one of these personally,
mm,
you realize that transitions are emotionally intense.
mm.
And that is, like, where it's a phase where one holds both endings
Right.
and beginnings simultaneously.
Mm,
So this simultaneous endings and beginnings,
mm,
people don't realize that. And when I
right.
realized that personally, I was like, it's so important for everyone to know that this is the only Venn diagram common point where,
Mm,
you can never be in this phase ever,
mm,
at least in this context. Maybe in a
right.
different context, yes. Like, so
Huh.
for example, someone is leaving a job, and it isn't about just starting something new, but it's also
Right.
about getting your family routine, familiar routine,
True.
colleagues, part of your identity.
Mm,
In between stage, it creates a storm of emotions.
mm,
That's why the purpose of wanting to make one understand that if
mm,
one doesn't pause and process it, it will
mm,
definitely feel like a chaos.
mm,
If embraced consciously, these transitions can become powerful periods of growth. And
mm.
that's where, when I personally started analyzing this
Huh.
while learning about coaching, life coaching, and
Right.
everything, because as
Right.
coaches, the best part is whatever we learn, we implement in house. And I was so
Right.
self aware about all these things that
Mm,
just clicks you. So I remember watching a TED talk, and it was based on Eat, Pray, Love
mm,
video.
mm.
And she was saying about genius, the concept of genius.
Right.
So typically, we are not geniuses. Genius comes
Mm,
to us.
yeah.
When we start
Love that.
thinking from that perspective,
Right.
it's just that an individual cannot just be genius every single time, and it's too much of an expectation to have from a person.
Mm,
So
mm,
I think that that moment genius just came to me, right? When I thought DYC, I knew DYC
mm.
should be the brand, but then genius came to me saying, make it discover your calling.
Right.
Similarly, genius came to me saying, Arya, transition. So many
Mm,
transitions you have faced, your growth. You were a biotech person doing MBA and then doing life coaching. What is,
right.
but
Right.
you discovered in the whole path, at that point, you would be confused. Why am I doing this? But now things make sense rather than complaining. So, this is why I think this transition coaching is so important. And for everyone, it's so important to embrace change rather than
Mm,
running away from it,
right.
feeling guilty for it.
Mm, Beautiful. Wow. So just to put this into context, especially for people listening, right? What would a transition coaching session or a program, what would that be like typically?
Yeah. So I'll just give you an example, okay? So there was one instance where one of my coachee in our initial sessions said that I hate myself,
Mm,
okay? And that
mm,
person was a very, like, when we look at that person, we'll never realize that this such a strong feeling
mm,
is there within.
mm,
And the strong statement made me realize that there's so many things inside from within.
mm,
So that feeling comes from years of comparison in childhood,
huh,
not being able to pursue career paths that, one is not able to truly pursue. So when one takes up transitional coaching, it helps one understand that whatever you feel today, why is the case. So it's like
mm,
a diagnostic. I recently learned a word called theranostics. So
mm. Okay.
Theranostics,
Do tell.
it's about a medical term. It's a medical term.
Right.
However, it's a combination of diagnosis and therapy. So it happens in cancer, but
Mm,
this is a very nice term to fit here also.
mm,
So
mm,
when you are diagnosing the cause
mm,
of why are you feeling like this
mm,
in this transition,
mm.
and then finding ways where we can regulate our emotions
Huh.
and go in the right path, there are hundreds, millions of mothers out there, right?
Right.
But isn't the story of motherhood, or new parent
Mm,
different for everyone?
correct.
How
True.
they deal with postpartum,
Mm,
how they deal with understanding in hundreds of perspectives that come to a mother when how
mm.
she should deal with the child, how she should
Right.
raise the child, and
Right.
how to deal with that
Mm,
hundreds of perspectives.
mm,
That change, or that the way you respond to these things, are very much in line with how
mm,
we have lived our so many years. Were we
mm,
killed, or have we had all the baggages on our shoulder and we that? So for example, if we have not done the theranostics
mm.
at transition stage, don't you think that baggage will be passed on to the new life?
True. Mm,
Right? So for someone who comes for any transition coaching,
mm,
very important that the phase that we are, the juncture that we are, we do not take the things from our past
mm,
in future for those
mm.
that do not serve us anymore.
Correct. True.
It's not that we will definitely, we'll 100% unload and we are a new person. That's never
Mm,
possible,
mm,
right?
mm.
However, we need to understand what is serving us, what is not serving us.
Right.
And what is not serving us, to understand that you need help.
Mm,
Doing it
mm,
on your own will make you feel overwhelming.
mm,
Simple as that.
mm,
You sit with someone, and like in meetings, people brainstorm.
mm,
And when a coach helps you understand the root of those feelings,
mm,
on embracing them rather than avoiding them,
mm.
and reframing the limiting beliefs, that
Right.
is when you reconnect with the sense of purpose. There are so
Mm.
many people out there, Rahul, who have no idea about their purpose in life.
Correct.
So purposes can be different. It could be as beautiful as just wanting to be happy.
Mm,
Could be as beautiful as having your business empire. Everything is
mm.
beautiful, but at least knowing what your heart wants,
Right.
what your soul
Mm,
wants.
mm,
Do you want to go on a retreat like you did
mm.
one recently?
Yeah.
Do you want to go and explore a new market for your
Mm,
business? Or
mm,
do you want to start something of your own where you can balance your family and your
mm,
what is
mm,
what do you want?
mm,
I remember you saying this. What do you really want in our
mm.
extra life? Right? I'll bring back
Yeah.
to that. It's such a powerful question, right?
Mm,
So at every stage, the shift has to be understood in such a way that you are letting go of certain things, because when you are transitioning to a
mm.
phase, you cannot be the same person who you were previously.
Correct. True.
That version, when you realize that you are not the same person in your new phase of life,
Mm,
that is the beauty of life, and that is when you will be able to grow.
mm.
And that
Right.
is why having a transitioning coach will help you
Wow.
in the right direction with a set of frameworks.
Wow. Awesome. I think this, again, it couldn't have come at a better time because, again, if you think about it, we're now at the time of the recording, we are coming to the end of this year. And also for a lot of people who have jobs, this phase is where they start to plan the next 3 months, right? Should I transition and chalo ek aur saal sort of coach themselves into transitioning, right? We are very fortunate that we live in an era today where we have access to people who are, who have dedicated their lives to help other people have a better life. Right? So that's where what you do, especially as you said now, as a transition coach, this is something that helps people because you know this, I'm sure, that when you talk to a friend who is not trained to listen, the tendency tends to be to tell people what to do. Right? It tends to be to give advice. The difference, if you really think about it, and I'm sure you've seen it in your own experiences, that when you're as a coach, the way you approach somebody's life situation versus as a friend, there tends to be that difference. So it's really beautiful to hear you say that you are looking at this from the frame of being a transition coach. So you mentioned something a couple of minutes ago about you have certain frameworks. Maybe this is that time for people to get to know, that when, say, typically when you work with someone, what kind of frameworks or what kind of transition, I guess in a simple way to say it, like, okay, so how do you help people transition?
So, one very good example that you
Mhm.
gave me was New Year is coming, right?
Correct.
So that's transition, and a lot of us love New Year resolutions to start with. But Rahul, why does New Year resolution not work out for a lot
Mm,
of people? I won't say
mm,
for everyone, but for a lot of
sure.
that is because we set intentions for the new year
Correct.
based on our goals. We want to reach to this level, and then, I will do this thing consistently. Typically, health is where people focus predominantly on. I need to reach at this stage, or this should be my weight, or this should be my ideal body type, and
Mm,
I will work out regularly. Or if you were something related to your career, I want
mm,
to get a promotion by maybe November 2026.
mm,
So I am going to spend so many hours every month for a skill development. Example, what happens, you start with the bank. Okay,
mm,
we start, I will register, I'll do all these things.
mm.
And people who are consistent, who are self-aware, and who have done certain things, they will be consistent because they're highly motivated.
Correct.
Now, where does that motivation come from? That comes from self-awareness.
Mm,
Now, as a transition coach, I highly recommend people to do a trend analysis of your last 1 year.
mm.
That is something a lot of us miss out on.
Right.
So now this is something I'm giving freebie for everyone. So if it's a new year
Mm.
and you want to have a resolution, you
New
can,
Year bonus.
right? It's a new year bonus.
Right.
It is so important, Rahul, to understand who you were in 2025
Mm.
rather than setting unrealistic goals
Right.
for 2026.
Mm.
It is very important to understand what was your version in January 2025. Let's start with that.
Mm. Mm.
So when we know who we were in January 2025, and when you compare that version versus today,
Mm.
you will be grateful for the version who you are.
Right.
That's the first step. Because we generally assess our today's version and we see, "Arey,
Mm.
nothing is happening.
Mm. Correct.
My
Correct.
life is difficult, everything is falling apart." Versus
Mm.
when you say, "Oh, in Jan, I was not even able to speak in public. And
Mm.
today I'm organizing meetings."
Mm.
One example.
Mm.
But then you're so busy with the fast-paced life that you are just organizing meetings with a click of your finger, but you're
Right.
thinking about, why am I not getting a promotion?
Mm.
It's a growth, right? You see how you have grown from there. So that's the first step. See who you were in Jan.
Mm.
And then after that, think about your first quarter of
Mm.
25. In your first quarter, see what was the theme of your first quarter. So how did you start it? So if your theme was a healthy version of me,
Right.
or initiation. For me, 2025 was initiation because I was
Mm.
focusing a lot on social media. And
Right.
I had a couple of resistances of not posting a lot of videos
Mm.
on social media back then. But
Right.
now that I see, look at me today. I'm doing a podcast with you, and we connected somehow. I don't know, universe connected
Right.
us. Right? So that's one. So you have
Mm.
to have a theme for your Q1. So now when you have your theme, you know, okay, what was the driving factor for you to start this year?
Mm.
So now you have some motivation. Okay, I have grown since
Right.
2025.
Mm.
Now transitioning to next year, you will feel little confident. So if
Right.
you were at 10%, you will reach 40%.
Mm.
Let's start with that.
Mm.
Then you can ask some questions to yourself.
Mm.
let's start with 5 areas of your life: health, wealth, relationship, career, and hobbies. Typical 5 areas. And in that, out of those areas,
Mm.
identify what do you want to do in each area.
Right.
It could be something that you have achieved,
Mm.
something you want to achieve. Okay. It could be something that you wanted to achieve in 2025 early phase, or you
Mm.
still want to achieve. Okay.
Mm.
Whatever it is, you write one
Huh.
point in these areas
Right.
and you ask yourself, which is the area that I've made most progress on?
Mm.
Which is the area I have avoided?
Right.
Which is the area I feel proud of?
Mm.
And which
Mm.
is the area I wish I could have worked on more? So
Wow.
avoided, wish I could work on more,
Mm.
proud of, and I've made maximum progress.
Mm.
So sometimes small things you can be very proud of, and maximum progress is like you have reached to
Right.
80%, right? So these 4 questions are so powerful. You start reflecting upon that when I started this year, family was my priority, but over
Mm.
a period of time, I realized that traveling was my priority,
Mm.
or my career was my priority.
Right.
However, you will start feeling little bad for avoiding family.
Mm.
But don't you think that you will make up to it in your 2026 then?
Right. True.
Because having a holistic understanding about your life
Correct.
will not let you repeat the things
Mm.
that you really wanted to focus on, but you couldn't
Mm.
in 2026. So when you
Right.
set goals, when you set
Mm.
resolutions in 2026,
Mm.
will be much more aware and you'll be more realistic towards what do you want to do,
Mm.
and the
Mm.
goals will be actionable and very targeted, and they will be doable. They won't be unrealistic. Now, as a person who has not taken any coaching session which is specific
Mm.
to transition,
Correct.
would end up setting goals which will be really difficult to achieve, versus a person who went through this whole journey of self reflecting their last one
Mm.
and
Mm.
understanding the gaps and then setting goals
Right.
with intention.
Right.
So, this is one example I can give you in
Yeah.
terms of
That's
sales
very,
process.
very powerful. And you've, taken the time to give us like literally like a frame by frame. So I can't help but ask, by any chance, are you planning to offer this to people in your community, or are you planning to run this as a mini process for people as they get ready for the new year?
Interestingly, I'm running a WhatsApp challenge on this, which
Nice.
started on Monday. But if there are people who is looking for another version of
Mm.
WhatsApp challenge, I can start doing the same towards the end of the week, because that's the
Mm.
time, end of December,
Correct.
people are much more motivated towards
Correct.
doing it. There's another
Correct.
thing that I am in the process of implementing. In the first Sunday of January,
Mm.
I am doing a workshop on vision boarding.
Nice.
So there are two things. One is setting intentions.
Correct.
When you do a WhatsApp challenge, which helps you understand how your 2026 should be, that
Mm.
then you can actually visualize the kind of life you want to reach. And that is when vision boarding helps a lot, and you can start visualizing the future. So these are the two offerings that I have in this transitioning
Nice.
phase of 2 years, 2025 and 2026.
Right. Right.
And yeah, really excited to help people in
Yeah.
this area.
Yeah. Because, just the way you described it, it's like you've already seen this whole thing play out. So that's why I just couldn't help but ask, like, by any chance, have you already, rolled it out, or are you intending to?
So
Because I know people will benefit.
the one that is going on currently, today is the second last day, tomorrow will be the last
Mm.
day, just 5 days
Mm.
WhatsApp challenge.
Mm.
People are so motivated and so aware about what has happened in last 1 year. So there were a couple of people who had no idea how much they've grown in 2025. Eye opening for them, and the best part is I do it with them.
Right.
Right. So when I do it with them, even I am able to, assess it for this.
Mm. Right.
I generally have this habit of rolling out a WhatsApp challenge.
Mm.
I tried on me also. And it's like I don't do it beforehand. I do it
Mm.
with them because
With
I
them.
want
Mm.
energy.
Correct.
When we exchange
Nice.
energies in
Mm.
a group, it's a very different experience.
Very nice.
So, yeah, I mean, looking forward, if we have a lot of interests in this area,
Mm.
we can
Mm.
roll it out again in the next half of December.
Nice. Nice. Which kind of brings me to another question. You briefly mentioned it just now, and I'd love to hear your perspective on community. Because again, especially now, unlike say maybe 3 years ago, 5 years ago, even before, right? The concept of coaching was different from community. It's like coaching had its own place, and community is nothing new as a concept. Like it's been there forever. But now a lot of coaches and healers have realized that focusing on community is a very, very important element. So I'd love to hear your perspective on how do you look at coaching, in this case transition coaching, but also the community.
Rahul, when I started my journey as a coach,
Hmm.
it was a very lonely journey.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
when you learn things alone,
Hmm.
have things alone,
Hmm.
the growth is very slow,
Hmm.
as in any area of life.
Correct.
See, for me, I'll give coaching because that's what I'm into, right?
Correct. Correct.
But then over a period of time, when I found like-minded people,
Hmm.
that is when I realized that your growth amplifies.
Right.
So your purpose is different or similar, but your
Hmm.
mindset is growth mindset,
Hmm.
right? And
Nice.
you are more receptive to new ideas, or you're more understanding about, being a devil's advocate,
Hmm.
because the mindset is similar. If the mindset is different, like the critic that you get, all the critics that
Hmm.
you get
Hmm.
is not receptive from your end as well.
Right.
You know that if this person doesn't understand where I'm coming from,
Hmm. Hmm.
like, I really cannot explain. How much ever I will explain, that person will not take in what I'm trying to explain. Very
Right.
simple as that. You have a community, when you have some accountability partners, the level of energy, aura, uh,
Hmm.
brainstorming to grow in whichever direction is immense, is fast, it is
Hmm.
unimaginable, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
having a community, whether you are in coaching, whether you are in entrepreneurship, is so beautiful. It's
Hmm.
very important, especially as coaches.
Hmm.
Having a community helps you to be unapologetic within your
Hmm.
community,
Hmm.
be as raw as possible, because they are my people. And
Right.
having cross community interaction is also very beautiful. So if
Hmm.
you meet any coach, okay, and you meet people from their respective communities, still it is aligned because mindset is similar. It's a growth mindset. But then every community will have their own beauty,
Hmm.
their own aura, they'll have their own energy. So it's very, absolutely very important. Like the childhood saying that we have, right? Birds of a feather flock.
Hmm. Hmm.
Very simple. Back then, we never understood what does it mean. We were just told, huh,
Right.
means you become like your friend when you're with the
Hmm.
friend. But
Hmm.
the depth of that,
Right.
when you're in a community, when you have a network, like people
Hmm.
say, your network is your net worth.
Correct.
Financially also,
Hmm.
intellectually also, emotionally as well.
True.
Then to
Very
some
true.
extent, even spiritually.
Yeah. So true.
Everything is linked because your energy is aligned, and the
Hmm.
people who are not within your thought process, not similar to your thought process, we just start growing apart. But that
Right.
doesn't mean that you hate that person,
Hmm.
just that currently that's not your mind frame. Yeah, and whenever you meet them, you will have a word with them, you will love them like you always
Hmm.
did. But that
Hmm.
doesn't mean that you have to feel guilty that you
Hmm.
not have the bond again. It means you're growing. So having
Hmm.
a community will help you understand, what do I really want,
Hmm.
and
Nice.
are we moving in the same direction,
Right.
right? So
Hmm.
coaching and community, I think it goes hand in hand, and it is very important to have like-minded people
Hmm.
who can uplift you in any phase of life. It's very
Mm.
important. Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. That was power packed. And I know, I was going to ask the question differently, but you already answered it, which is a lot of coaches, and I've seen this in especially the last couple of years, a lot of coaches and healers are sort of in two minds, right? They want to do a lot. They know they have a vocation, a calling to do something really, really powerful, impactful in the world, but somehow they kind of like hold themselves back when it comes to building a group or a community. So I'm sure hearing from you and how you have sort of got to this point where you really are a believer in community, I'm sure it will also give them that hook that, okay, you know what, maybe I was holding back, but listening to your story now, right, there's so much to learn and there's so much to also receive by having a community. So as I said, these pods are designed so that people especially who are healers and coaches, when they hear your story, they're inspired and they're like, okay, if Arya can do this, then okay, maybe even I can have that experience and also get to share it with other people, because this is how we grow our message. Speaking of course, when we talk about growing and growth, a lot of what we talk about as healers and coaches is more to do with personal. It's our own personal growth, and also we are in the process of helping other coaches and healers grow personally. But there's a very interesting dynamic here, and this is everything to do with family, right? So I'd love to hear from you, when you look back at especially the last couple of years, the role of family or how your family life has transitioned, has transformed as you have been growing in especially these last couple of years.
That's very important, I think, to understand one's family,
Mm,
friends, or
correct.
whatsoever, right? Because I
Correct.
think they are the backbone of your growth.
Mm,
It can be any, every person
mm,
has different experiences, and
mm,
whether it is positive or negative
right.
experience, your family, they are the ones that you interact with most.
Correct.
So your growth is
Correct.
directly proportional to the experiences that you have with them,
Mm,
right? So
mm,
when I wanted to become a coach, like the very beginning,
mm,
start with like
mm,
college, right after college, my parents had an understanding that she can do well.
mm,
Like, taking it seriously,
right.
they were like having a big question mark,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm,
Because they didn't see me
right.
in terms of how I am as a coach.
True.
But I believe that, you know what, Rahul, I am a strong believer of putting yourself out there
Mm,
rather than waiting for an opportunity.
right.
So when I started, like, I kept on going, kept on
Mm,
going, kept on going. And I
mm,
was, whatever opportunity I get, guiding anyone or
mm,
taking up sessions,
mm,
helping people with their coaching journey, whatever
right.
I just went on doing, I kept on learning.
Mm,
And earlier, whenever I used to have conversation on something new that I want to do, anything, okay,
mm, mm,
watching, like, watching a video or something that I had to express that, this
huh,
is good or this is something I want,
huh, huh,
that discussion used to end up becoming a debate. Okay.
right.
Why? Because I didn't know how to
Mm,
put my thoughts, because I was not sure about it.
right.
Over a period of time, when I started getting sure about, yes, coaching is my
Mm,
calling, when
mm,
it got serious where I had to take up certifications, which are really expensive, because coaching,
right.
like, when you take up coaching courses, it's equivalent to your graduation degree.
Mm, true.
And
Very true.
having conversation with my parents was not
Mm,
difficult. And I never expected that it wouldn't be that difficult,
mm,
because I was much more calm.
right.
When does debate happen?
Mm,
You are not sure about things,
right.
right? And
Yeah,
when you
so
don't
true.
know what to project,
Mm,
right? So
mm,
when you go with a case study, your parents know that you've done the homework and they were receptive about it. So then they were like, okay, fine, if she's taking this decision, kuch to socha hoga. Okay,
correct.
although like your maturity comes with age, that's a different story. However, and it was my money, but still, like, they are
Mm,
your devils, they are your first devil's advocate.
Correct.
Simple. Your parents are your first devil's advocate since the childhood.
Hmm.
They saw, right? She's doing it for
Hmm.
some time.
Hmm.
कुछ तो कर रही है. Like,
Hmm.
and people are coming, matlab something is good about her. And
Right.
then I started putting, like, more social media videos,
Hmm.
release them in my community. They just
Hmm.
spectators.
Nice.
He just come and watch my WhatsApp videos, WhatsApp challenges, watch my
Hmm.
Insta reels. They used to come for all my Insta lives. For that matter, the Insta live that we had, my mom
Was
was
it?
there.
Wow,
She
how
watched
sweet.
it. No, for some time because then
Right.
someone
Right.
just came by, but she watched it. So when they started watching my Insta lives, my videos, what I
Hmm.
have to offer,
Hmm.
that is when they started becoming my marketing people. And that is what we want. Yes.
Because a lot of, I'm sure you've seen it as well, even as you have been going through your various certifications, a lot of healers and coaches struggle with that, right? मुझे तो करना है, but my family doesn't understand.
Yes.
You know, and we know this. It's not the first, it's not the last certification. And for parents, for family members, spouses, children, maybe with the children not as much, but generally with the adults, with the grown-ups, there is this spoken or unspoken question of और कितना करोगे,
Right.
right? और कितना travel करके certification ले
That
that's
will
there.
still come, but like I'd just like to mention my husband
Mm,
also. So
mm,
since the time I've started coaching,
mm,
I think he was the reason why
mm,
I had to not worry about anything. Being the fact that if I talk to my parents, they know that I have his backing in terms of
mm,
although
mm.
आज के ज़माने में we women take their own decisions, but
Correct.
parents are still little old school, right? They
हाँ,
would be
हाँ,
like, "Huh, okay, is your partner supporting your decision?" Right?
राइट,
And it was like a unsaid thing that yes, he's
हाँ,
always supporting me. Till date, if there is something like, new that's come up, the first
हुँ,
person I want to call and inform is him.
हुँ,
We are in a long distance relationship, long distance marriage.
हुँ,
So, but still, the decision of doing a long distance marriage was
हुँ,
so that I get more opportunities in my career and I can be in a city where I can grow the right direction, right? So, that support itself has been so important
राइट,
and has been the backbone of who I am in this
हुँ,
area of life,
हुँ,
right?
हुँ,
So, like two areas. One is
हुँ,
having constant support, someone to fall back on. Ki
करेक्ट,
if someone is just coming and bombarding you with why you're doing this, that,
करेक्ट,
all,
करेक्ट,
you can always say, "Oh, this person is not going to question me. At least
हुँ,
this
या,
person is not
या,
questioning me."
वेरी
Second,
नाइस,
how do you justify yourself? Why are you
हुँ,
doing this? That comes with absolute clarity, Rahul.
करेक्ट,
So, like you
नाइस,
said, healers and coaches are confused. Should I invest in this? Should I do not? Or if there is a brain drain in terms of
हुँ,
I am not getting return on my
यस,
investment, it's because you are not really clear about why are you doing this. The moment you start clearing the fog,
हुँ,
you realize that, oh, maybe there is something that I'm
हुँ,
missing and I'm doing something that's not meant for me. I'm
राइट,
replicating someone else's model. It is not that you have to replicate and every funnel is the
राइट,
same, every methodology is the same. You have to start your own. You have to find your niche. You have to find your audience. Every audience is not your audience,
हुँ,
right? So
नाइस,
the moment you find your target audience,
हुँ,
that is when, your
राइट,
family, your friends, everyone will support you silently and vocally. So there are
राइट,
a lot of people,
ट्रू,
they will not take action. So you will message them, please join my community,
हुँ,
please follow, just click the button of
राइट,
Instagram profile follow. They will not because two reasons. They are busy. They have their own life. We cannot expect that they will always follow what we want them to follow. And that I learned with a lot of rejections.
या,
And all the expectations that I have, I just stopped having expectations because
हुँ,
everyone has their own life, right?
हुँ,
Second, they will follow you, but silently. How do you know they're following you
हुँ,
silently? When you meet them, they'll be like, I watch your
हुँ,
videos, I just love your videos. And then I'll be like, why don't you like my video? Like it, no. And then they'll be like, Acha, I have to like it. Okay. Because they
yeah,
just don't
yeah,
know,
sometimes
right?
it's as basic as that, right, Arya?
So
Nice.
It's like, yeah,
Mm,
supports can be visible, invisible, but it is all about how do you position yourself and how
mm.
do you take action so that they can support you the way you
Right,
want.
right. Okay, so there's one final frame before we get to that. I want to also sort of, because we did talk about it, but I wanted to get it specifically so that when people watch this, whether they're watching it now, whether they're watching it later, if you were to say, okay, today this is what you're focusing on, like maybe it's a masterclass, maybe there's a book that you want people to get to know about, that say it's something that you're writing, or it could be even a program, something that you're running. Like you did mention, the a more sort of topical. Right now, it's the new year coming up, so you're doing the WhatsApp class. But if there is any program in particular that you want people to get to know about and to get to know more about, do tell us a little bit about that, and then we will go to one final segment, which is sort of where all of this comes together.
Okay, so thank you for bringing this up because there are two courses that I run.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so one is Awaken and Align, which is a teaser course,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
other is Rise and Radiate.
Hmm.
So Awaken and Align is a course which is of 3 sessions
Hmm.
that helps one understand. So, a lot of us respond to situations thinking that it is others' mistake
Hmm.
rather than taking responsibility of the situation.
Hmm.
How do you take responsibility of your life?
Hmm.
Everything that happens in your life, and then transitioning to finding your purpose, like I said, and then you understood, okay, I'm taking responsibilities,
Huh.
okay, I know my purpose, but now what are the beliefs that are stopping me from growth?
Right.
So the Awaken and Align course is a 3 session intensive course which is divided between a week gap where we do a one-to-one session. It's not a group
Hmm.
session because
Okay.
I believe it's good to have a tailored
Hmm.
understanding about every
Right.
one-to-one session that I do. And here we try to open our minds
Hmm.
towards possibilities,
Right.
and then we align to the version we want to become.
Nice.
Now, if someone is interested to go beyond this phase, that is when Rise and Radiate is a continuation of this. So it's a phase two, different version 2.0. So that is where you dig deeper.
Hmm.
You get into understanding, okay, these are my beliefs, but what are the resistances that I have internally? Am I
Hmm.
procrastinating? Do I have guilt? Or,
Hmm.
am I looking for validations and that based on which I'm taking my decisions of my life?
Hmm. Hmm.
Resistances, how do you affirm situations, and then
Hmm.
how do you start visualizing your future, and then
Hmm.
followed by taking most important actionable steps. So after
Hmm.
doing all of this, what is the point if you don't take
Right.
action?
Right.
Right?
True.
So the ultimate goal is to take actions.
Hmm.
And how do you actually take actions, and what
Hmm.
is a step by step approach?
Hmm.
The whole purpose of these 8 sessions. So
Hmm.
Rise and Radiate has the 3 sessions of Awaken and Align,
Hmm.
followed by the other sessions. Again,
Right.
it's like 1 hour session, tailor made, with
Hmm.
a gap of minimum 1 week between each session, which can be done online or
Hmm.
offline. It
Okay.
helps one understand that, okay, I am stuck in this phase of life.
Hmm.
Why am I stuck? The theranostic part. So diagnosis,
Hmm. Hmm.
the growth, and the healing.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then from there, how do we actually implement all our learnings? So the moment you start writing down things
Hmm.
is when you will know, okay, this is the fog that I need to clear.
Hmm. Hmm.
Clarity part,
Hmm.
right? So this is such a beautiful experience, I would say, where you actually have someone to handhold you through the journey,
Right.
right? So we must have seen people, they are trying on their own, but then they are just, it's just like medicine, right? You go and you say, okay, I need medicine for this cough and cold. And you just self medicate. And it is just like that. Your brain, your mind, your soul, everything needs someone who is trained in it. And
Right.
this is why it is absolutely important to not do things on your own.
Hmm.
Rather, take a help or support of a coach or a counselor
Hmm.
who is trained in this
Right.
and who can tailor situations, tailor sessions and coachings
Mm,
in the direction that is best for you, right? So this rise, coming back to that, rise and radiate will help you reach a
mm,
space
mm,
where you are absolutely confident about why you were what you were, and it will take you to a position where
mm.
you are absolutely confident about the person you want to be, right? So
Wow.
this is about.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's like I said, it the idea and the reason why this pod exists is to be able to create that space so that people get to know you better. They get to hear your story, and in time to come, as more people get to know you, we've all done this in our own journeys where we want to get to know about this person. Like, why are they the way they are? What is it that makes them tick? So, one of the reasons why this pod exists is that people get to hear you, they get to know you better and build that relationship so that when they come to you, they're already confident that, okay, um, Arya can actually help me. So, in that, as I said, as promised, like that one final segment, which I know it's literally it's an opportunity to express your gratitude for the people that have come before you who showed up at just the right time on your journey, right? So this is of course the segment that we call the journey of mentors. So if you can share, two parts. One is of course at what points some of these people showed up, and even when you do mention their names. The reason also why this segment came to be is because a lot of times as healers and coaches, we tend to sometimes forget who showed up and was there for us at just the right time, right? Maybe it is subconscious, maybe it isn't, I don't know. But I noticed this as a trend, and so I said, you know what? In pods, especially when I do these pods, I want to actually create the space where you as the guest, where you as the healer and coach, you get to kind of reflect back on your own journey and share little snippets of how these people showed up at just the right time. And maybe it was something that they said, maybe it was just something that they were running a program, and boom, it's like you talked about your programs today, something about what they had created at that time, it just kind of made sense to you, and that, as we say, made all the difference, right? So I'd love to hear those snippets as people also get to know more about them as well as you.
I think there are a lot of people. It's not easy to finish it in this small
That's a
segment.
separate podcast.
However, like there are people who may have acted as mentors or
Mm,
just those who are inspired
mm,
by who I was inspired
mm,
just in the small wave of wind. Like
mm,
never know when this thing would have clicked to you at a different phase
mm,
of life. So starting with my parents, right?
mm,
So
mm,
both of them are very different, opposite individuals, right?
mm,
So my father is like his personality, the way he talks, the way he takes trainings. He takes trainings in a very different area into risk management and all.
mm.
The way he presents himself is
Right.
what I have learned over a period of time. How he
Mm,
speaks, and then how he used to dress and all those things. Try to and of course the gaps that people
mm.
have, I take it and I make my own
Huh.
masala over there, right?
Right.
And also him being very calm in terms of crisis.
Mm,
These areas over like 30 years of my life
mm,
taken up from him.
mm.
My mother, on the contrary, is someone who's very good in assessing people. And I have been trying to master it from her, but I think it's always a very, novel area that she comes up with.
Right.
And whenever we have a discussion, she brings a very different tangent. And I'm like, oh
Mm,
my God, this is something new that I didn't think about, right? So it's always a journey to understand like the people
mm.
analysis and, how
Right.
empathetic part and all those areas I have learned from her. So
Mm,
who I am today, of course, genetically I am from them,
mm,
but then the learnings, like, and the areas that we see, the case studies that we have from our
Mm.
parents and what we don't want to carry over
Right.
a period of time, that's also very important. And they
Right.
also don't want us to carry that. That
True.
didn't serve that didn't serve them then, and it
Mm.
will not serve us in future. So these two are the biggest, most important mentors
Mm.
in my life,
Mm.
and still mentoring
Mm. Mm.
throughout the journey.
Yeah. So
Then
true.
after that, I remember there was this one aunt of mine. Her name is we used to call her Sarla auntie.
Mm.
She was the one who used to take my English classes, and she taught
Mm.
me a bit of French. However, like we are family friends, she took
Mm.
sessions from my father back in his days as well. She
Wow.
is no more. We lost her 2 years back. But she was the first person in my life I would call as my life coach. Okay, so
Nice.
we used to not do coaching sessions, but
Mm.
because I've known her ever since I was born,
Right.
going to her for classes, we
Mm.
used to have a lot of deep conversations. And
Mm.
she used to tell me, she used to teach me how to express through writing,
Mm.
because she
Mm.
was like, literature was like no one better than her, according to me,
Mm.
my
Mm.
visibility I knew of. So how to express through words
Mm.
and about life, about various
Mm.
aspects, those things, my mind just opened up
Right.
being with her. And time used to pass by and we used to just talk, and it was very beautiful.
Mm.
And I remember a week before, not a week, I think 2 days before she passed away,
Mm.
I had an opportunity to spend 30 minutes with her. She couldn't make sense of the sentences that she was talking. She was
Mm.
talking flawlessly in English even then, but the structure was not there. And I still cherish every every sentence that she said.
Mm. Mm.
I don't know. I mean, and till then also I was just thinking this person has impacted so many people. She used to teach
Mm.
French to a lot of people in that area.
Right.
And and you, when you are no more, it's just the memories, right? And the impact that you've caused in this world. So she was the third person, my first ever life coach, I would say. And then I mentioned my business communication ma'am.
Mm.
The way she used to come, the elegant
Mm.
body language,
Right.
and then that smile, and
Mm.
then the sessions, that really motivated me to think about life coaching ever. Right? That's a first figure that you
Yeah. Yeah.
see, and I
True.
still, think that same face whenever I also, that's like a idyllic memory, that photo
Mm.
that you have of that person, and you're like,
Right.
I want to be like her. Okay, so training sessions that she used to conduct
Mm.
back then.
Mm.
Back then, it was so pretty, so lovely that
Right.
it can motivate you and create a
Mm.
trust in you, right? So that's very important. And then over a period of time, of course, my mentor who taught me life coaching skills, it's Pooja Puneet.
Mm.
I don't know, I met her at one phase of life where I was
Mm.
just sitting and passing my time,
Mm.
drinking a cup of coffee, and I decided that I should do this life coaching course this year. But at the least expected time, she just came. Okay, and I
Right.
registered one course, and then I registered for a proper certification course with her.
Mm.
And most interestingly, before the course happened,
Mm.
I think the course was supposed to start on a Friday.
Mm.
And on Monday, I lost my grandmother. Okay. And when I lost my grandmother, it was due to age. However, when I just started the course started at a time where I could actually deal with the loss. And you become so self aware about
Correct.
life, about how you're feeling, and also being okay with expressing and crying, but still like dealing with the loss. Came at such a phase of my life where, it was really beautiful to
Mm.
understand that having the right mentor or right
Yeah.
course or
True.
right situation at the right time. So I had an
Mm.
option to register 2 months before that, but I
Right.
don't know. I just registered that month, and it was such
Right.
a beautiful,
Right place, right time.
yes,
Beautiful.
it was very, these are the key. people I would like to mention are there are a lot of
Of
other
course, of
people,
course,
but
of course.
yes, these are the ones that I
Amazing.
mention now.
Just looking at you reliving all of this, that's the power of people that have, showed up in your life and made that impact. And I know that in the coming days, as it is even now, that what you have received is what you are sharing with the world, right? And like I said, even the first time when we met, that became extremely clear that you have truly tapped into your vocation, your calling. And as you said, that's why I told you that day when we met, I said, I won't ask you then. I will wait till we get to meet here and understanding the work that you're doing when you're talking about transitioning and really truly helping people be what they're meant to be, and also more importantly being that bridge while they transition. That takes a lot, and it was really beautiful to hear your story. And also, I know people who hear this are definitely inspired by you, by your story, and also reminded to keep doing the work that they are doing, right? Especially our core audience, which is, of course, healers and coaches and seekers as well. So, people who may not realize that they will be healing and coaching someday soon. So, irrespective of where they are on their journey, I know when they've heard your story today, and for folks who have reached this point, it just means that you already connected not only with Arya, but also, in the coming days, this is your opportunity to keep following along with what Arya is doing. And definitely, as we say, hit the like button and follow along, because I'm sure as Arya discovers more of her own purpose, you'll get to hear and follow along her journey. So thank you once again, Arya, for coming here and sharing your story. And like I said, the purpose of this pod is to be that space so that other people will have an opportunity to get to know you better in the coming days.
Thank you so much, Rahul, for this opportunity to invite me as your guest. It was a wonderful conversation. I think we already blended well in the Insta live that
Yes.
we had. So it
Yes.
was much more deeper now
Mm,
because
mm.
I got to know your perspective, but then the way we could move from one
Yeah.
area to another, it was so comfortable and smooth. Thank you for holding the space. Thank you for asking such beautiful questions, bringing out different aspects and perspective about coaching, which is so important
Mm.
as this area is still growing and people have a lot of questions about coaching. So thank you for all these initiatives and increasing awareness in this area. Thank you once again for inviting
Amazing.
for this
Yes. And
conversation.
thank you. Thank you. Like I said, I always remind myself to remind my guests that this is my silent but not a secret but not so secret conspiracy to meet and connect with amazing people who are already on the journey. And a lot of our connections, a lot of our collaborations begin with storytelling, right? And so when we get that opportunity to hear each other's stories, that's when we don't even have to figure out how, you know, in the larger scheme of things, how we were meant to connect and uh, you know, build something much bigger. I suddenly remember also you had talked about the reunion, the reunion number 30, meaning that 10 years from COVID, which is 2030. It'll be beautiful to see what happens when we all meet and we get to kind of reflect back on who we were and, of course, more importantly, who we've become and the kind of work that we're doing. So it was really beautiful to hear your story. And I know this is just the beginning. There will be many more transitions in the transition that you are helping people with, and also a lot more transformation. So thank you once again for your time, for your energy. And of course, for folks who have listened to you till this point, definitely, as I said before, follow along. And I will be sharing Arya's links so you can also connect with her. And if you are going through transition, or if you know someone who is, then please do reach out and connect with Arya. And having said all of that, of course, I must also point out the fact that you have reached this point means that you know that you're onto something much bigger. Maybe there are times you may struggle, but that is part of the journey. That's part of us losing our way to find our way, to lose our way to find our way again. That is what makes this journey so much more beautiful. So, as always, I truly appreciate what you're doing out there, and Arya, truly appreciate what you're doing here, not only for us today, but also in your own community. And may you continue to be the light. And I know we will, as I always like to remind myself, dunya the goal hai. We will meet again for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you for taking the time. I know we kind of were bouncing around the last couple of weeks. We kind of missed each other, but it was meant to be like this. So I'm so glad that we got to do this recording. And for folks out there, continue to do what you're doing. And as always, remember to live your purpose. God bless. And of course, we will be back with many, many more pods. We are always on the lookout for some truly amazing guests so that you can continue to stay inspired. And of course, when you stay inspired, you get to inspire others. So, as always, having said all of that, remember to live your purpose. God bless. And of course, we will be back with more. So, Arya, if you can just stick around for one quick second, just double checking to see if this is all right. So, I'm going to pause this here.